So here's one of my bill hooks that I'm going to do a bit of work on to get it back to being serviceable where I can actually use it. I normally don't sharpen on the belt sander. I shape, but I don't sharpen. Because no matter how careful you are going to overheat the edge. And if you have very fine knives tempered to very low temperatures, you are going to affect it and draw the temperature back. However, the edge on this was really severely damaged. And since these are spring tempered, it's not really like I'm going to do that much significant damage to the temper anyway. So this is one pass on the belt sander just to remove the rust and expose the edge. And I don't know what the guys were doing with this thing, but you can see the edge is just chewed up beyond all belief. So it's going to take a bit of time. So I am going to have to use the belt sander to actually put a shape and edge back onto this, and I'll sharpen it by hand, but there was no pity for this when it was in use, I tell you that. But I mean, this is good to go now. You can see some chips there in the middle. Again, they'll remain, but I'll put a decent edge on this now. Sand off the handle, put some coats of linseed oil on it, and it should be ready to go. I was going to clean up the spine. Again, like, whoever used this, man, really took it to the woodshed. The spine is impacted. You can see it's flattened down, but there's also a bunch of pieces just snapped right out of it. Like, this was pounded on with a hammer. It was pretty much as close to brutalized as you can get. I was going to grind all these out and make the spine nice and smooth again, but I decided no, I'll just leave them in there because they're kind of funny for me to look at when I'm using it. And they're really not harming the blade in any way. I mean, she survived probably for more than 50 years like this, so she can take the rest of my lifetime like it. But so I'm really looking forward to bringing this old girl out again once I get her cleaned up now a bit more. Now I've got the handle all nice and sanded off, got all that old grease and everything off that. It's down to the bare wood again. Just used some steel wool to get most of the dirt off. Then gave it a really light sanding. Now I'm going to sharpen the blade and put some linseed oil on the handle. So now I got the handle nice and oiled up, a couple of coats of linseed oil on it. The blade is sharpened. Now you can see there's still lots of little chips in it. Say about 90% of the blade can readily slice newsprint, but it hangs consistently because there's like chips every inch or so. But this is still easily sharp enough for me to get a feel for how it handles brush, woods, grasses and that type of stuff. So, and again, these little tiny chips and stuff really don't influence the performance of this blade. You wouldn't really notice them unless you're doing really fine work with it and the chips are going to hang up. It's not like you're going to see them cutting brush or grasses or such anyway. So this blade is ready to go. Just some splotches of oil there, that's just linseed oil. Not really going to bother to oil the blade itself. It's not like it's actually going to do anything to prevent it from rusting. I mean, it's got a baked on essentially coat from just decades of oxidation on it. I'm not really going to remove that. That's about as deep a patina as you can get. So this is cleaned up enough now to go out and get some use. I've added some oil right down to the bottom, and I'll put some linseed oil right here in the top, down around here, so that will slowly soak into the oil. And I'll basically keep putting linseed oil on the handle and lightly buffing it off until it really stops soaking it up so rapidly. But this one's good to go now, and I'm really looking forward to taking it out and having a look and see how it compares to the Fiskars, the Japanese one, and even a couple of machetes, just to get a feel for how this actually works in the design and some general characteristics of use. So it should be a relatively interesting time.